All right, so firstly, the My Account is something that most of our clients use. It's a great way for customers to be able to self-serve. So, see their bills, pay their bills, see their usage, things like that, right? So, what we've been doing over the last 6+ months is we've been upgrading our My Account. So it's essentially a new version or a new My Account that we've created, and we're going to take you through some of the improvements we've made to it during those 6 months. All right, so there's two aspects to it. So firstly, the My Account itself, which is what customers use, of course. And so the main takeaway or the main feature that we've been working on here is making the My Account a lot more mobile centric. It's always been what we call a responsive website, and that the pages shrink and grow based on the type of device you're using. So obviously on a phone, you've got a lot less real estate to use, so it looks different than if you're on a desktop, a laptop, or tablet. So that's always been the case, but what we're finding increasingly, and you probably are aware of this in your own lives as well, is that a lot more mobile use or a lot more internet use is on a mobile device, right? So we've taken that and we've seen that trend ourselves in the usage of the My Account. So we've taken very much a mobile first approach. So we've taken a lot more emphasis and focus on making sure the pages and everything within the My Account forms and looks really, really nice on a mobile device, right? So that's one of the first things that we've done. The other part is we've introduced a new portal essentially. Called the MyProperty Manager. So we've had a lot of feedback from clients as well that in the apartment building world, obviously there's property managers and building managers that look after different buildings, and they want to be able to do a lot of things, before and with their tenants or occupiers in their building, right? So there's a lot of different scenarios around that, but essentially we've created a portal for property managers and building managers to be able to do a bunch of things themselves. So rather than calling you, so they can download some reports, do some different things, and I'll show you that towards the end of the webinar today. All right, so firstly, talking about the My Account upgrade. All right, so when I say, we can't just shrink a page down to fit on a mobile device nicely, there's a bunch of things, mindful attributes that you need to ensure that you build into a web page to make sure that it looks really nice and is really functional and easy to use on a mobile phone. So these are some of the sort of key points, and these are sort of generic web type concepts, but obviously making sure they can complete actions easily, something called minimized cognitive load, which is in simple terms, the amount of effort it takes to complete a task. So you don't want something to be complicated. You want it to be very nice and easy for customers to do. I mean, the functions that we want people doing on the My Account is obviously moving in, moving out. Like that's a high, quite a long transaction flow with a number of steps, number of pieces of information. So you want that to be nice and easy for customers to be able to do that. Also, obviously paying their bills. So obviously what we want all our customers to be able to do nice and easily. So we don't want to make that process nice and easily. Those are just a couple of examples. Unnecessary elements. So if there's things going on all over the page, people lose their focus and don't know what they're meant to be doing, or they get distracted by other things on the page. So we're trying to focus their eyes and their attention on what we want them to do. Again, the use of fonts, colors, things like that, we put a lot of effort and focus on that, making sure that, again, it focuses the eyes, makes it a nice process to go through. And also, I suppose the second to last point there, I won't go through all these points, but the second to last one, finger-friendly interfaces. So if you've got little hyperlinks, little buttons on the screen, and you're using a big fat finger to try and do those things on a phone or a tablet, it can be quite hard, and you'll find yourself doing the little expand on your fingers to try and make things work. So a lot of our things, our buttons and other elements on the page are very what we call finger friendly, designed to be clicked on with a big fat finger. So those are sort of some of the main elements we've been doing in the presentation there. The updated screens. So here they are here. So firstly, this is your move-in flow. All the things you see are configurable in that you can capture this information or you don't have to. So for example, relationship or property relationship right at the top there that you see, that is something that you may want to capture, and a lot of our clients do, but it may be something that's just not useful to you. So we too can turn that option off. But what you'll see here now is, I think if any of you guys recall the current move and flow, it's more of a horizontal flow, which sort of step 1, step 2, and you're working across the page. It's very much designed with a larger screen in mind. Again, what we find is most people, when they're doing a move in or move out, they're probably sitting on the couch after dinner or something like that, and they're just doing it on their phone. So we've tried to make the move-in process a lot more phone friendly. So it's more of a vertical flow, as you can see here, vertical flow. You're capturing all the same information, but the idea is it expands the bits you need, and it very much focuses your attention on it. Again, with the pay my bill, this is coming back to the finger friendly bit. So we want, a big pay now button, entering your credit card that comes up with numeric keyboards. So you're putting in credit card numbers, all that kind of stuff to make it a very easy process to pay your bill, right? So that's, again, a very common function that people do in the My Account. And again, with the direct debit, we're taking the approach, in the pay my bill page, but the approach here is content first. So you can see it's got a bit of a description about what you're trying to do. And then it's, got the buttons for you to do what you want them to do, and then the FAQs at the bottom. So all the pages sort of follow that flow. So you're making it easy for customers to get to the thing they want to do. And then if they need extra information, FAQs, they've got that at the bottom of the page, or other information. The next bit here is around the graphs. So that has had a number of upgrades and improvements as well. So you'll notice here we've got both usage and spend. So that's a new element or new feature in the graph. So you can, obviously, customers can toggle between usage, which is great, seeing your usage, but often people think in terms of dollars, like how much is this going to cost me ultimately. So we can train, usage and spend. We've got those toggle buttons, and also drilling between monthly, daily, hourly. So we've done it, we've increased the options for people to be able to navigate and use those charts a lot. So that's one bit there. The next bit here is around, this is the dashboard or the landing page. And again, we've done some usability or some functionality, I suppose, improvements. Exactly. So you see the red box we've got circled there. Obviously, you want the customer to know they're overdue, but in this case, you don't want them to pay the bill because they're already on direct debit. And we've introduced some messaging along these lines to really help the customer out with what you want them to do. So this is just a good example saying you're overdue, but hang on, don't actually pay the bill because it's going to be taken anyway. In the past, they might have just gone, clicked on pay now and paid, but they've actually got a direct debit. So those are just some improvements as well. A couple of new features, excuse me, is firstly our products and pricing page. So this is a new page, so it's not in the current My Account. No one's got anything like this. So the idea here is that it's a new page that'll be in your menu at the top. We're going to show you the My Account in very shortly. But obviously you've got a products and pricing page where you can see your current prices, right? And in this example, you can see here you've got some current rates, and we've also got a price change coming up. So you can show current rates, new rates. In the case of a price change, we're also showing both price plan information and offering information. So again, we've got prices, peak off, peak shoulder, etc. But also this has got a $12 late payment fee and a $3 fee. You might have discounts, prompt payment discounts, whatever. But you can see all that information now. So before that was a bit hidden away, or you couldn't access that from the My Account. You can obviously see it on your bill, on your welcome packs when you got things like that, but you couldn't actually go into your My Account to see this information. This is all now a page that's available. So when you move to the new My Account, then obviously this is available to you. You might, with any of these options, any of these pages I'm showing you, you might say to us, look, we don't want to show our customers that information for some reason. You go, great, we just don't turn that option on in the menu. So it's as simple as that. You'll notice another button there called Compare Plans. Now, Compare Plans allows, if customers have a choice of plans, and this comes down to in the Australian users that are on this call. Obviously, there's something called best offer and better off, best offer messaging. So it's very much a regulatory thing to show customers if you have a better offer available to them. Even in other jurisdictions, it's not a bad idea. Like, customers can get a bit annoyed if they've been billed at a certain rate for so long, and then they actually find out there's been a better rate available to them this whole time. So it's generally not a good idea. So this hide and compare plans allows you to view other plans available to you. And also we can show this, savings. Are you better off on this plan, right? So, it'll show them you'll be better off or worse off by moving to this plan. So they can see all that information. So again, that's a new page of it that's available. Another one here is something called alerts, right? So alerts are a way for customers to be able to, let's say, alert themselves based on their usage. So typically, and this is mostly for those people with advanced meters, you're getting data every day, or constantly getting data. So a bill might come out monthly, but we actually know, and and customers want to know if their usage has spiked or that, or they're going to get a bigger bill for some reason. So this allows puts the power in customers' hands. They can actually set up an alert, and that's something that they receive by SMS or email or both. But they can set an alert. So they go, look, when my projected bill is, in this case here, expected to exceed last month's by X amount. So you can drag your little slider, $42, $50, whatever, then give me an alert. So it allows them to give them some confidence to say, look, my next bill, I know it's going to be within reason of last time. If it's not, then I would have got an alert. So they're not really going to get much bill shock, and that allows, therefore paying you is easier, all those sort of things. So there's a number of sort of configurable alerts we can set up, but these are some of the most common here, where you're going, I'm projecting my bill to exceed last month's by X amount. You have a single day spike. So again, we know all this information. Even those people with deemed, or what we call basic meters, manually read meters, there's still a lot of alerts that you can give customers, right? You can't do some of the more granular ones here, but you can still give customers alerts that they can set up to give them some of this information. So again, that's a new page. And like I said, and all the other pages, if you want this, great. We can turn it on the new My Account. If you don't, then we just don't turn this option on. Simple as that. Right, another new feature in the My Account, which we've introduced, and this is again based on lots of feedback from our users, is in the move and flow. Obviously, customers are entering in a lot of information. One of those pieces of information is their email address, and this is extremely important because if they get that wrong, then bills can't get sent to them. Things bounce, emails don't go through. So it happens if fair bit is people enter in the wrong email address or an incorrect email address. It could be intentionally or unintentionally, whichever, whatever it is, but the case may be. But we didn't have any email verification. We've now put some email verification into the move and flow. Again, configurable, turn on, turn off. But that allows, if I put an email address in, I'm going to get a code sent to my email straight away, which I have to put into the screen here to move forward. Right, so it's a fairly common sort of email verification process that a lot of sites and portals use, but we've now got that feature as well. So that allows you to verify email addresses, which is again such an important piece of information because it's what you want all the bills to go through as. All right, so let's see what that looks like now. Here it is here. So what I've done to my browser is I've just shrunk it down to essentially an iPhone size. So this is what a user would see if they were browsing it on an iPhone. Right, so you log in. So what you notice with that login screen and all the screens you're about to look at is that, again, you've got content at the top, the what you want them to do. And so in that case, login, and then and then the FAQs at the bottom. So again, we've got some key things we want them to do here. So, they're moving in, moving out, or whatever. Right, the menu here is a shrunk down menu with the different options. So it's a nice display on a phone like this. So some of the new ones we showed you. So firstly, the dashboard. So again, what you can see here is the dashboard in there. Products and services. So this is the new screen we just showed you before, where we can actually see pricing for this customer. Maybe I haven't got any pricing on that customer. The pay now, right? So again, we allow customers to pay their bills. So in the background, we're connected up to Stripe, Easy Debit, some other payment gateways as well. But again, I say, well, how much do I want to go? Pay now shoots off to the page, but you got content, pay now, FAQs, billing and payment. So equally my transactions. I think I've picked a customer here without any transactions or anything. Let me just find a different one. Just bear with me a second. Oh, it's going off to the old one. Yep. Might not be able to solve that quickly. Anyway, we've got so the billings and payments. You can see all your bills, download them as you can on the current one. We've got the usage screen, which is the graph that we showed you in the presentation just before. We've got the alerts, which is the one we showed you in the screenshots there as well. You got the ability to do move in, move outs like you do at the moment. And then lastly, the contact us. So all these pages here are the ones available to my account. And as I say, if you go and switch, this is just a way to switch between different devices. So you can see how it's looking as we jump between different devices. This is like an iPad, for example. Etc. I'll refresh that. Not letting me change that. All right, so that's the My Account part of it. The next part on here, if I just jump back to the presentation. Go. Is the MyProperty manager, right? So as I described at the start, this is if you imagine a property manager or a building manager that's responsible for looking after the tenants and occupiers in a certain building. So from time to well, the feedback we've had anyway, there's a number of nuances and scenarios within that, but the one we've got is one, if you're a billing agent or doing billing on their behalf, then they obviously want to keep their finger on the pulse a little bit about, invoice totals, receipt totals, usage totals. If you are a retailer, so if you're doing retail, you might want them to be able to do some self-serving. So they'll have customers, well, they'll know, like obviously when tenants are moving out, for example, because they often have to organize a lot of things. So they can make sure that the move out's done, with the power and the water and everything as well. So it's very beneficial to you, and it probably makes the tenants and their life a bit easier as well. So the processes we've got here, here's an example when you're logged in. So if I log in as a property manager, I'm a property manager who might have one or many buildings. So you can see on the left-hand part of the page here, you can see all the buildings I'm responsible for. So we've just got sample block 1, 2, 4 different sample blocks there. But I log in and I can instantly see a dashboard, some key metrics around what's happening in my property. So I can see like monthly usage, like how much power is my building using, invoices and receipts, so how much is being invoiced, how much is being received, any collections activity that's happening. So that's that third graph we've got down there. So, reminder notices, disconnection notices, things that are going to people in my building, and also what's my debt levels. Right, so some of them might care about this because again, you're a billing agent. They're ultimately still responsible for the money that's being or the debt that's being accrued. Retail model, they might not care about that. So all this sort of stuff we might be able to configure, or you might tweak and change the sort of graphs that are shown to your property managers. But essentially, step one is you've got some property managers. Next bit here is reports. So you can actually allow them to run some reports. So we've picked 4 that we think are quite useful for property managers, being a debtors report, invoice report, and a receipt report, and a vacant and occupied sites report. So we have picked those ones that we think that'd be quite useful, and we've got people using this already and told us that they are useful reports for property managers to see. There's no reason really why you can't introduce any report that's available in the CRM. There's no reason. It's just some of it might be overkill, or you sort of want to keep it relevant to a property manager. So giving them too many reports just might be a bit confusing. So we've tried to limit it to just the ones that are available and interesting for them. And then we've also got the sites. So now I can, within my building that I've clicked on, I can see all the different apartments or units in my building, and I can see who's living there, right? So it might have 100 apartments. You might have, vacant lots in apartment 10, 15, and 20. The rest of them are occupied. So in this view here, I can see, who's living in each of the apartments. I should already know that really, how much they owe, and the date they moved in and moved out. Yeah. So along the left here, we're showing, again, some sort of key metrics that we think property managers will be interested in, and based on feedback, what we think they'll be interested in. So like, if I'm looking at a particular building, I want to know how many vacant sites I've got in that building, for example, the total amount due within my building, something called unhealthy meters, which can really be defined as meters you haven't had a read for in quite a while, right? So those are problematic ones, and when you're next going to be billing this building. Okay, so those are things that we believe are quite useful. But again, like everything, we're going to get some feedback probably after this webinar and generally over the next few months, and we're going to make those as configurable as possible so that different people can have different requirements and different metrics that they want to see. Again, same with these reports, as I just mentioned, there's no reason really why you can't have any report in the CRM available in this menu here. But what we want to do is just restrict it down, not to overwhelm property managers, just give them the bits they need without trying to overwhelm them with information. And the last bit here is around the sites. So again, we're showing some key information. And one of the important things here is the functions that a property manager can do. So, Mr. Smith in apartment 10 is moving out, and you're, locking off the lift for him, you're organizing some stuff for the move out and whatever. And you say, hey, do you want me to sort, I'll just contact your power company and tell them you're moving out. So you can do the disconnect or the connect here for them in the case of a move in. So it's just a way that helps the tenant out, helps you guys out, because then you don't have occupiers and vacant sites you don't know about. So it's good for you, good for the property manager, and probably good for the customer as well. So we see this as a win-win-win, and that's probably one less thing the tenant has to worry about at the time of a busy time when they're moving out, and also you don't receive the call. Okay, so that's let's have a look at it now. So the property manager login here, so it's a different URL, right? And we're just going to log in. Here we go. So as you saw before, I've got, sample block 715, 716. As I click around them, you'll see all the graphs are changing. They're reporting on what's happening in that building. I can see the services. There's an electricity building. This is electricity and water, monthly usage, invoices and receipts, etc. So we went through those. I can see my reports here. So again, I can go and run a report. So if I want to do a debtors report, for example, for this building, click and run. That now shows me all the debtors in this building and how much they owe. Right, so that's the next one here. And again, I could run any of these reports as a property manager. Just give that a second to load. I won't wait for it to load. And the last bit here is sites, when that does allow me to do it. Here we go. And the last bit here is sites. So again, I can see all the different sites or apartments, units within my building. Right, and so they are here. So I can scroll down and I can see all the unit numbers. So it's ordered by unit number, either 200,001 down to whatever. See the date they moved in, what they owe, and then across to the right here, we've got the ... where I can go, this customer's moving out. I can click on that, and that just takes into the same point effectively in the My Account that a customer would do anyway. Right, so I can go disconnect, connect. It takes into those same flows within the My Account portal. Okay, so that's the property manager portal. Here we go. Okay, so just another point here that this is current. This is nothing new here, but we think it's useful. But we think it's useful just to reiterate this because some of our customers do this better than others, I suppose. But when you think of the My Account portal, you think it's obviously one portal, but there's actually multiple entry points to the My Account portal that it's good to be aware of. And linking each of these points individually on your corporate website is a good idea because it allows customers to enter the part they want straight away without having to navigate to the My Account and then do a secondary step. So these points here are the move in. Right, so you want customers to be able to do a move in nice and easy. So having a link on your corporate site called Get Connected, Move In, Join Us, whatever you want to call it, but essentially it takes them off to that point on the My Account. Equally move out, so you don't have to log into the My Account to do a move out. Again, you just have a button or a link on your website that's called Stop Service, Move Out, whatever you want to call it, but essentially it takes you up to this page. They have to verify, so it'll ask them their account number, name, phone number, etc. And then they can verify, yep, that's you. do the move out. So it's a nice, easy way. Obviously, pay my bill. You want, customers can log into the My Account and pay their bill, no problem with that. But it's an extra couple of steps. They might have forgotten their password. It's just a barrier to getting customers to pay. So ideally, you just have a pay now type button on your website, takes customers straight to the pay now. They'll have to put an account number in. Great, we know who they are, amount to pay, done, credit card in, got the payment. So that's nice and easy. And then obviously the My Account itself. So, we've seen this, called My Account. People have different brand names for it sometimes, but this is the part where you log in to see this. And then you'd probably want a link for the property manager as well. So you'd have another link for property managers where you can log in, to, show them that section, and they go straight to that part of the portal to log in and see it as a property manager. Right, so it's quite useful to think of it in these 5 ways and 5 points of getting into the My Account. From here, I'm just going to, I'll come back and I'll just check the Q&As in a second. But the plan from here is we've been working on this for over 6 months plus. It's currently undergoing a security audit. So we've got an external company coming in and doing some penetration testing on the My Account, just to make sure that all your data is nice and safe. So we're undergoing that at the moment, but starting from Q1 next year, we're going to be starting to roll this thing out. So we will contact you and say, hey, look, your V2 is ready to go. We'll give you a second hidden URL, so it's not available to your customers, but we'll give you a URL where you can log in and see what it's going to look like. It'll be a replica of your current My Account, so there'll be nothing missing. But then we'll ask you about some of these features that you've seen. So, for example, the products and pricing page, the alerts, things like that, where you might want to enable them, you might not. So we'll ask you about that. So at that point, obviously your existing My Account won't be affected. It'll just carry on as it does today. And then once you're happy with the new V2 and you've approved it, ready to go, we'll switch you over to it. Right. So that'll just be, we'll replace, there'll be nothing different from your side. It'll just the current URL. Instead of going to the current one, we'll go off to the version 2 side. And that's all that switching over involves. All the existing customer logins and passwords will remain, so customers will still be able to log in, do exactly what they can today. So no, there's no custom impact. But that said, it can, if you want it to, look a bit different. It can have some great new features in it. So if you want to advertise it or tell your customers about the new My Account and all the cool things it can do, then we think that's a good idea, and that's up to you. But we think that is a good idea to do that. That's the end of the webinar presentation there. So that's perfectly on 30 minutes. I'm just going to check here if we've got any Q&As going on. So just let that load. There was a couple from questions that we had before the webinar, which was firstly from someone asking about managing prospects. So obviously this Automate and the CRM at the moment is designed around customers. You could load a prospective customer into the system. And so we've got some customers asking about your managing prospects. So it is on our thinking list, I suppose, for 2025, doing prospective customers. But natively, it doesn't really do a prospective customer at the moment. It's really designed around, you're becoming a customer as soon as you do those flows. So that's where we're at. You've asked about the benefits of the new dashboard, which is the one we just showed you there, this thing here. So hopefully the demonstration that I showed you sort of explains some of that, what is the benefits of it. So I think I'll hopefully explain that one. A couple of other questions that have come in the chat since then. How do we set up a property manager login, as they may not live on site? Yeah, so at the moment, again, this is just something we're working on a bit more at the moment as well. So you have to create the property manager in the CRM. So you have to come in here, you have to create a new customer as the property manager, and then you can link them to the buildings that they belong to. So you set them up as a normal customer, I suppose like a sundry customer, with a normal My Account login, and then you just have to link them to the buildings. The key bit is that when you create them as a customer, you'll create them with a customer type, I think it's a subtype of property manager. So if you set them at property manager, we now know they're a property manager. And then when you link them to buildings, we now know what buildings they need access to. So that's how we do that. So the property manager can be someone that lives in one of the apartments. Doesn't have to be, and often normally it's not. So it can just be anyone in that space. It says, can we turn off alerts for certain sites that don't have smart meters? Yes. So the alerts can change based on the metering type. So of all the alerts that you've seen in here, you can say if there's smart metering, present these alerts. If not, present these alerts. Yes, that can be done. And then are we able to pass on any costs, SMS costs for the SMS and alerts? Sorry, let me start that again. Can we pass on any costs for SMS generated by the alerts? Never been asked that one. I wouldn't imagine. Well, the system hasn't done it at the moment. We haven't done that for anybody. That's, I suppose, the first thing. Probably could, but I'm not sure what the customer expectation would be there. Yeah, I mean, possibly, yeah, you probably could, I suppose, is the answer. But as a customer, I'm not sure whether that would, how they would, yeah, what their expectation would be around that. Yeah, I'm not sure that gives you a good answer or not. But yeah, I suppose technically you could, but yeah, we haven't done that for anybody. I suppose technically you could also as well just disable SMS and make the alerts email only is possible as well. You could do that and therefore avoid the cost. Okay. Has anyone else got any questions that I can see if I missed any in there? Oh, there's a few more here actually. If one more, is there a link or notification that we can send to all open accounts to advise of this upgrade? We could. So what we could, I suppose a good thing to mention as well is as part of the move-in process, some of you automatically register people for the My Account and some don't, right? It's just a system setting. So for any new customers that join you, you can automatically register them for the My Account. It's generally a good idea, right, to do that. Just get some using it and what have you. So you can do that. In the CRM as well, we have the capability of doing bulk notifications. So now letters, emails, SMS, you can do bulk sending of letters. So we could set up a template called look at our great new My Account, and then you could send that off as just using the bulk send function. So yeah, I'll have a chat to Tracy on that one, but we could, as part of this, potentially create a little HTML template that we can pop in there to use for that purpose. Yeah, okay. Has anyone got any other questions? No? Okay, fantastic. Well, that's about our time. So thank you for joining our webinar and listening. I think a recording of this will be available at some point shortly, and will get sent around to those that were on the webinar, so you can pass it on to your colleagues and also people that couldn't make it. It'll be going around to them all. If you have any further feedback, questions, or anything like that specifically about this upgrade, the version 2 of the My Account, then please send us an email at the sales@utilmate.com address. So just send us an email there, Tracy, or one of us will get back to you. But if you can just send any comments, feedbacks, questions, whatever to that address, it just keeps it out of the normal support world because it's not really a support question. So if you could just email through to that and we'll get back to you with with our responses. Excellent. Okay, well, thank you very much for listening and we'll talk to you all soon.